congratulations on Shakuntala Devi. The trailer is doing phenomenally well. I was able to join you for the digital launch of the song,
Oh,
Paas
wow.
Mein Tu Feli. And I want to ask you about Shakuntala Devi because she herself is a larger than life character, but you are showing a very human side to her. She's not depicted as this larger than life hero, at least what I can see from the trailer. Have you taken anything away from her character, and have you incorporated it at all into your personal life?
It's too early to say that I have incorporated what I have taken from her in my life, but um, I think I'm hoping to do that because I'm very inspired by the person she was, by the fact that she didn't let anything limit her, least of all her gender. And the lesson I've really learned is that if you have faith in yourself, the world is your oyster. So I hope to remember that always.
You talked about gender not being any sort of limitation, and I was looking at the number of films that you've done where you have been the front and center of the poster. Shakuntala Devi, of course, being the latest one, but Tumhari Sulu, Nutcut, your short film, Kahani 2, Bobby Jasu's Kahani, The Dirty Picture, Parinita, which was, of course, your debut. You yourself have defied those stereotypes, and you yourself have defied that whole notion that we need a male to be front and center of a poster film to work. When you think about that, do you think about any similarities or differences between you and Shakuntala as a character at all?
I think, you know, I also don't understand why there are a different set of rules for men and women. And I think she also felt the same. So maybe that is one similarity besides the fact that we both laugh loudly. And I've always felt that I'm at the center of my universe. So I'm not ready to play second fiddle to anyone. Again, that's a similarity we share.
There's a dialogue which I think is really going big right now, which is "Jab amazing ho sakti hu, to normal kyun banu," from the trailer.
Yeah.
How did you interpret that dialogue when it came to you, when you knew that you were going to say this dialogue? How did you interpret that?
I thought that one line, encapsulated Shakuntala Devi's spirit more than anything else. You just had to hear that and you'd know what she was all about. Because I think that was her life mantra in a way, which our dialogue writer Ishita Moitra has beautifully expressed through words. That, why limit yourself? Why play small when you can be amazing? A lot of women tend to do that, just so that we don't topple the apple cart or, challenge the status quo and make people around us insecure. So I think a lot of times we do shrink ourselves, and she didn't feel the need to do that.
Nice. One of the things that the film, for me, explores anyway, is the relationships between numbers. 2 + 2 = 4, relationship between numbers. Very interesting dynamic and relationship between Shakuntala Devi and her daughter, which is very beautifully portrayed in the trailer, and how complex it can be. When you are playing a character that is depicting complex relationships, do you find that you're reaching back into your own reality to infuse a little bit of your own personal experiences, or are you just going by what her daughter has said, what her son-in-law has said to you about what Shakuntala Devi is in the script?
No, but unless there is some kind of identification with the person you're playing, whether that's a fictional person or a real person, I think it would be impossible to play her. So, of course, there are differences also, but I think one always looks for those things which are similar between you and the character you're portraying. Of course, I reach back into my own experiences, not necessarily just my personal experiences, but even borrowed experiences that that I've read in books or watched in films or heard from other people or seen other people go through. Of course, I think I dig into all that. Those are the resources that I dig into while playing a real person.
Nice. Vidya, we've heard that you were actually good at math when you were in school. It's something that a lot of us feared when we were in school. What was the one thing that you feared, if not numbers?
Geometry. Because it
Okay.
required drawing. Yeah, it required drawing diagrams. I think geometry and biology, I was really scared of, because geometry and biology required diagrams, and I'm terrible at drawing.
Okay.
So even in my 10th standard, there was one chapter called construction, which could get you 12 marks. You got questions for 12 marks from that particular chapter, and I just let it go. But,
Entirely.
I entirely. I wrote whatever I had to, but I let the rest go. I didn't do the diagrams. I remember feeling that, oh, maybe I should have spent some time trying out the diagrams the day before. And then I said, you know what, forget it. I'll do the rest of the paper to the best of my abilities. And actually, I got, so if out of 75, I attempted 63, I got 63 out of 75.
Nice. So I guess it was worth it to let go of the diagrams.
Yeah.
Vidya, one of the things I also want to ask you is when you were, because there's a certain body language that Shakuntala Devi has, and there's a way that she has her hair. When did you first feel like, I feel like Shakuntala Devi?
That invariably happens on set until you play that person. No amount of preparation gives you the sense that, oh, I've got a hang of the person. It's always on set. And for me, it happened on the very first day when I was doing a match show. It was the last scene we were doing on the first day. And I was nervous. I was like, why did we have to start with a maths show today, We'd done, of course, a couple of scenes before that. But I did that and it went off really well. And suddenly I said, oh, now I think I'm getting a sense of her.
Nice. When audiences watch it, viewers watch it, invariably everyone's going to have their own opinions. What would you like us to take away? And you've talked about her defying gender stereotypes and all of that. As women, what would you want us to take away when we watch the film as an audience?
That, you have to keep moving forward. And that's the only way to be in life. Let nothing hold you back. You have one life. And if you don't live that for yourself, then it would have been a life wasted. I think that's something that people will take away from the film. And of course, the fact that, if a girl who didn't even go to school could be called the human computer the world over and could write the number of books she did on varied subjects, I think anything is possible as long as you believe in yourself. And I think it will probably change people's relationship with numbers, or at least intimidate them less. And I hope it changes the way people teach maths. I hope they make it more fun and interactive and make people realize that maths is in everything and therefore it's not to be feared. What you don't see is what you fear. But maths, you can see maths in everything. You can feel maths in everything.
It's true. On that note, Vidya, you have inspired a generation, maybe more, for doing what they want. What's the one thing that's on your bucket list that you want to check off before we wrap up?
Wow. I want to bungee jump someday. I hope I'm able to do that.
I hear it's a bit scary. So
yeah, exactly. Which is why, I'd love to get over that fear. I'd like to overcome that.
Nice.
It is very
Vidya,
nice. The
thank
thought of it.
I've done a simulation. I haven't done the actual thing, and I can tell you it sort of makes your heart stop. So
I can
good luck.
imagine.
Vidya, thank you so much for your time. I
Thank you.
appreciate it, and all the very best for Shakuntala Devi. It
Thank you
looks
so
fantastic.
much.
Take care.
Take care. God bless.